Hello, it's 1900 UTC, it's Facebook, my name's David Shepherd, so therefore it must be my weekly Facebook Live. So thanks for joining us wherever you are, whether you're watching this live this evening as it is in London, or whether you're watching it around the world, whether it's the morning, afternoon, evening, or even if you're watching it on the recording. Thank you for being here. So we're still kind of reeling a little bit from last weekend because we did our first Strategies for Success seminar weekend last weekend, and we got phenomenal results. And this is the first time that we've run this in 2018. It's a two-step process with Fix Your Mind being the first step in the process, then Strategies for Success being the second part of the process. And I know that I've got a lot of coaches, I've got a lot of mentors, I've got a lot of speakers and trainers who watch my Facebook Live. So I thought what I would share with you was my thinking in designing the process and how the whole thing works, because we deliver this process one-on-one, so I can work with my private clients around this entire process, or you can work with one of my other coaches around this process, or as we did this weekend, we did Strategies for Success for a group of people, and earlier in the year, in January actually, we had our first Fix Your Mind of the year. Then we've got another Fix Your Mind coming up in April. So I thought I'd take you through my thinking in how I actually designed this process, because it appears to be a really powerful process. And I've shown you this before, and I love this model. It comes from Robert Dilts. I've played around and changed it a little bit, but essentially it's from Robert Dilts' Neurological Levels. I know there are people in the field of NLP that say that it's not NLP, it's not pure NLP. Whether it is or it isn't, my whole thing about models is that they work and that they're useful. And I personally find this very useful. So if we put it up first, as some of you have seen before, we've got results on the outside, which is what our primary focus. Again, there's been discussions on Facebook this week, and I've said that my primary concern for NLP, for timeline therapy, for mental emotional release, for hypnosis, and for HUNA is the results it enables to get people. I think back to when I first got into this, which would now be 25 years ago, maybe a little bit more than 25 years ago. I wanted to learn NLP for NLP's sake. I wanted to learn HUNA for HUNA's sake. I was just fascinated with it. And I think the world has changed over those I know the world has changed over those last 25 years. And now I think people are significantly more results driven, as in, okay, I will learn NLP if there's a good reason why, if there's a good payoff for my investment, which is fair enough. I totally agree with that. And the same for timeline therapy, mental emotional release, hypnosis, and also HUNA. And I think as soon as people realize what they can do with these things, then they go, okay, now I'm going to learn it. So, I'm very results oriented with everything that I do, tangible results. And as we know, our results come from our behaviors. Our behaviors come from our skills, abilities. And I'm going to expand that now, strategies. Then we have beliefs, which I've said in previous Facebook Lives are like on-off switches. They determine whether our skills, abilities, and strategies are activated or not. We have our values, which provide the juice, the motivational force that go through the switches, that even if we've got the strategies, even if we've got the beliefs, if something's not important to us, then we're not going to have the motivational force to actually take the action to do anything about it. And the weekend we expanded this even further when we looked at our purpose, our life purpose. We could probably actually do an entire Facebook Live just on life purpose. So if you're interested in that, then PM me, put a message into the comments, and I'll do a Facebook Live on life purpose. But this was the entire model that the weekend was based around. And, obviously it's focused on results. And a lot of people in my industry, the personal development industry, personal success industry, focus on success. But I've got this little analogy, if you like, which is if somebody came to you and said, I've hidden a needle in that haystack over there, and if you can find the needle, I'll give you £1 million, $1 million, whatever, million euros, whatever it might be, then I think a lot of people would be fairly motivated to find the needle. And most people would go running over to the haystack, trying to get rid of the hay. Whereas another way of doing it would be to strike a match, chuck it onto the hay, stand back, watch the hay burn, and after the hay's burnt away, you'd be left with a needle. That's probably a lot easier way of actually finding the needle, getting the £1 million, dollars, euros, etc. So I used that analogy and went, okay, so rather than looking at what it takes to be successful, let's look at what it takes to fail, as in you take a particular action and it doesn't work out. And from looking at that, in my opinion, I found that there were 7 things that cause people to fail, 7 things that cause people not to achieve a goal. The first was a knowledge or skills gap, just something that you didn't know. And though even more, something that you didn't even know that you didn't know. I have a little bit of a joke with my delegates. The world is different today with Google than it was when I first started studying this in 1993, because we've got Google now. But even today, if you type into Google, "Dear Google, tell me all the stuff that I don't know," it doesn't have an answer for you. Neither does Siri or Amazon Echo or any of these kind of things. So there's a knowledge or a skills gap, something that you don't know, and even something that you don't know you don't know. Then there are, the second one is not adhering to 3 fundamental laws. These are laws that I've spoken about in previous Facebook Lives, laws like cause and effect, results versus excuses, and perception is projection. For many people, those 3 laws are an example of the first one, a knowledge or a skills gap. They don't even know that those laws exist, let alone how to make them work for them. Then the other thing that gets in the way, causes us not to achieve our goals, are negative emotions. Emotions like anger and sadness and fear and guilt can prevent us from achieving the goals. Probably in business, fear is the big one. I was just interacting with one of my friends on Facebook, Chris Hallett, is doing Facebook Lives, and when he did master practitioner training with me, he was my demonstration subject because he had an absolute abject terror of being on video. Using timeline therapy, mental emotional release, within 10-15 minutes his fear had gone. And I actually had him film a video there and then, actually on the master practitioner training, and now doing Facebook Lives is an integral part of his coaching business. So well done, Chris, fantastic. That was great to see this week. So negative emotions get in the way. Also limiting beliefs. I'm not good enough. I can't make the kind of money I want. I can't have the kind of relationship I want. I never have the kind of body I want, etc., etc., etc. Also prevent people from being able to achieve their goals. Misaligned values. We talked about values in relationships last week. We talked about values in team alignment the week before. Values are very important. Our values are pretty much in place by the time that we're 7 years old. So think about where the world is today compared to where the world was when you were 7. I mean, that's like 48 years ago for me. If I hadn't done work with my values, I'm attempting to navigate my way through the world with, would be 48 years out of date. You wouldn't dream of doing that in your car if you're going on a journey to somewhere and you'd never been there before. Using a road atlas that was 48 years out of date is going to guarantee failure. So aligning values, also values conflicts, which is something that we've talked about in previous Facebook Lives, can get in the way. Then we have either no goals. I've met a lot of people who have no goals. They can tell me all the things that they don't want, but they can't tell me the things that they do want. So either no goals or goals which are inappropriately or ineffectively structured in a way that our goal achiever, the unconscious mind, can't actually understand them. And then finally, number 7 reason, there isn't consistent action taken, consistent determined action. And even with the other reasons, the first 6 reasons, even when they're out of the way, when you've filled your knowledge and skills gaps, when you are adhering to the 4 fundamental laws, when you've got rid of your negative emotions from the past, when you've got rid of limiting decisions, when you've aligned your values, and you've set goals in an efficient, effective way, number 7, if you're not taking any action, none of that's going to work. So all of those 7, they're not really in any order of importance. They're all really vital. And, they really come up as a result of looking at this thing here. So in our Fix Your Mind process, whether that be one-on-one or whether that be one-on-group, like in our Fix Your Mind seminar, whether it be in a intensive personal breakthrough session with me, whether it be in the Ultimate Fix with one of my fixers in Fix Your Mind, Fix My Mind, sorry, then the overall process is to eliminate the major ones of those reasons for failure. So what we do is we use timeline therapy, we use mental emotional release to assist the person in getting rid of anger and sadness and fear and guilt from the past, so that those can no longer get in the way. We have them delete any limiting beliefs that they might have, like I'm not good enough. We have them align their values so that any values conflicts towards away from conflicts, and also any just outdated values that aren't relevant anymore for their goals, they're all nicely aligned. And then, since we've got rid of the blocks, if you like, the reasons why the person could fail, then we have them set goals, but in an effective way, to communicate effectively to their unconscious mind exactly what they want their unconscious mind to achieve for them. That's the Fix Your Mind process, the breakthrough process, the Ultimate Fix process. And that's what we do in 2 days in the Fix Your Mind seminar. But then, I started thinking about there's more to it than that. Just that process, that 2-day seminar or that 8-hour one-to-one really puts people onto a different trajectory in their life. And particularly if they're focused on one particular area of their life, it really puts them onto a different trajectory. They start achieving significantly greater results than they've done before. It's like the brakes are taken off. But then towards the end of last year, I started thinking, there's another step to this, because I started thinking, just getting rid of limiting beliefs isn't the same as having the empowering beliefs of somebody who really gets world-class results here. What do these people believe? What do those people believe that other people don't believe? What skills, abilities, and strategies do they have that other people don't have? That would be an example of number one in the reasons why people fail, a knowledge or a skills gap. What do these people know that other people don't know? Then, if you looked at behaviors, what do they do? What do these people do? What's their behavior patterns that they demonstrate that other people don't? What are they doing that other people aren't doing? What are they not doing that other people are? And I thought if we got that, if we could get that, then we could do the next step beyond Fix Your Mind, which would be strategies for success, which is what we did last weekend. It's the first time we've done it. Worked really, really brilliantly. The feedback was fantastic. Anybody who's watching this who actually did strategies for success, if you could give us a little bit of feedback as to your experience of that, that would be brilliant. I'd really appreciate that. But that's what we've got from NLP modeling. NLP modeling enables us to discover, take a model of excellence. What are those people's beliefs? What are the limiting beliefs that they don't have, and what are the empowering beliefs that they do have? What skills, abilities, and strategies do they have that other people don't? What do they do that other people don't do? What aren't they doing that other people do? If we map that onto the 3 core areas of NLP, which we use for modeling. I did this, I think, in a previous Facebook Live last year, but just to reiterate, what we've got the external behavior, what the person is doing or what they're not doing. The internal process, which is the strategies that they're running, and their internal state, which is the state they're in whilst they're doing it. The internal state is determined by the person's beliefs and values, and possibly we'll take a little bit further with purpose in a moment. So in strategies for success, although I didn't teach this on strategies for success because I've just thought of it just now, then what we did was we used NLP modeling on people who are massively successful with money and wealth, massively successful in their career, massively successful in their health and fitness, massively successful in their relationships, and then literally covered that in 4 half days on strategies for success. And the result was outstanding. People's minds were blown because they were discovering stuff that they just didn't even know that they didn't know. Now, when we got to, and the interesting thing was that they all overlapped, because when I looked at people who had become very wealthy, multimillionaires, who were self-made millionaires, not ones that had won the money or had inherited the money, had made the money, then there are a number of success factors, is what they called them. I'd call them beliefs. And they were being fit and healthy was one of them. Having a supportive relationship with your spouse. Also, an important one that came into this was doing something that you love. And, we covered money first because, possibly it's one of the more contentious ones of the lot. So I thought, let's go money first. But because it tied in the other one so effectively, it gave the why really as to why you'd want to work on your relationship. Because a lot of money seminars just go like, this is how you make money. And they don't talk about the requirement, if you like, for a supportive physical body, a supportive relationship. And also, one of the things they came out with was doing something that you love doing, something that you're passionate about. And when I talked about that on the Saturday morning, a good number of people came up to me and said, I'm totally into this thing. I've got it. It's completely correct. But I don't know what I love doing. What is that? What is it? I've got no clue what it is. And I'd kind of, if you like, preempted that a little bit. So when we were doing the section on business and career, then what we looked at was this thing, life purpose. So the things that will give you the greatest sense of joy in any area of your life, let alone business, are the things that are in alignment with your life purpose. When in business, if you are doing something which is in alignment with your life purpose, it will be easier. Not easy, easier. It'll be easier, and you'll feel fulfilled, and you'll feel satisfaction, and you'll feel a sense of joy doing it, and you will get bigger results for smaller effort. Whereas what most people do is that they do something which isn't in alignment with their life purpose, and they wonder why it's hard work. They wonder why it's difficult. They wonder why they're not fulfilled. They wonder why they're not satisfied. They wonder why they're not joyful whilst they're doing it. They wonder why, even though they put massive amounts of effort into this thing, they get little or no results. And that's the reason why. So one of the things we did was we took had the delegates on Strategies for Success go through a process to discover their life purpose. Because once you've got that, then you know what it is that will create joy for you in any area of your life, but specifically we're focusing on business and career. And then once we've found what you love doing, then we looked at, okay, how do you monetize that and how do you turn it into a business, which is kind of like a little bit of a forerunner to our Empowerment Millionaires program, which we've got running later this year. So that's the entire process of the Fix Your Mind process, followed by the Strategies for Success process. We did that in 4 days. It's 2 days for Fix Your Mind, 2 days for Strategies for Success. It's probably when I do that one-to-one, it's generally it's like a 3-month coaching and mentoring program to enable people to really get that and really focus on it in one particular area of their life. If you want to find out more information about that, particularly, I ran over the 7 reasons why people fail a little bit quickly there because we've only got half an hour. That takes me about 45 minutes to an hour if I go through it in true detail. If you would like to go through that in detail, 7 reasons why people fail, it is available in the Personal Success Programs section of my app, the I'm David Shepherd app, which is available at davidshepherd.com up the top there. Also, there is another video called Quantum Success, which deals with reasons 6 and 7 for setting goals effectively and what really taking action means. That's also in the Personal Success Programs in the app. And also what I introduced the guys to this weekend was my belief buster questions. Obviously, we can get rid of limiting beliefs with timeline therapy and mental emotional release, also with subordinality belief change. And the people on the program had already learnt those as a result of doing Fix Your Mind seminar. The belief buster questions are a really good way of using these questions on yourself. There's a coach, you can use them with other people to shake the legs on beliefs, to make them rocky, to make them rickety, if not to have the table of the belief disappear altogether. You can find those in the app on, I think it's on CD number 3 or 4 in Change Your Mind, Change Your Future, which is the belief buster questions and how to use those to actually change your beliefs. And I believe there's also a guided version on there of subordinality belief change. So there's some really good resources there in the I'm David Shepherd app, which, as I say, you can get. If you want to come along and join us for the next Fix Your Mind, we have one of those in April. You can find out details about that on Performance Partnership website. So I hope that's been useful for you. For those of you as coaches and mentors, etc., giving you the structure, my design, if you like, in how that whole process works. For those of you as speakers, trainers, you've got some insights as to how to make
that work for you as an event or a seminar. And if you're just interested in your own personal development, etc., then you know what that's all about and where to find the pieces to actually make it all happen for you. Thanks for joining me again here on Thursday on Facebook Live, and I will see you next week at the same time in the same place. My name is David Shepherd, and it's been great spending some time with you. Have a good afternoon, morning, or evening.